afternoon to everyone. I'm Zhifeng, and these are my fellow group mates, Sean and Zembang. So today we'll be discussing on conflict management case study, which is on a misunderstanding between an LTA officer and an Uber driver. So this is a video of our case study. So as you can see, the person wearing in blue, right, is actually the Uber driver, and the one in the vest is the LTA officer. Now let me bring you through the case study in detail based on the different perspective of the people who are involved in the situation. And Sean will be bringing you through the different conflict response mode, and Zembang will be linking this case study to the workplace situation. So here is a brief summary. Here's a brief summary on the case study. So an Uber driver, Mr. Goh, he was being injured by the LTA officer while trying to pick up his female passenger at a taxi stand of Bugis Junction, which was only meant for taxis. So the whole process was actually recorded down by the female passenger, who is Miss Amber, and uploaded onto her Facebook page. So this has caused a huge commotion over it, and the case was only recounted by the female passenger and the Uber driver. So we'll be stepping into their shoes and viewing the whole situation to have a bigger picture of the event. So the people involved are Miss Amber, the female passenger, Mr. Goh, the Uber driver, and the LTA officer. So Miss Amber, she was the one who called for an Uber driver to pick her up at the taxi stand of Bugis Junction, but she was not aware that the taxi stand was only meant for taxis to stop there. So she was also the one who captured the whole video of the fight and uploaded onto her Facebook page, but she has taken it down. So next, Mr. Goh, the Uber driver, he was actually aware that he was not allowed to pick up Miss Amber from the taxi stand, as his vehicle was not a taxi. And as Miss Amber was waiting at the taxi stand, he decided to go ahead and pick her up by stopping quickly, as there is no taxi in the queue. But he was stopped by the LTA officer, and he was rather worried because once he's given a summon, he might not be able to afford the fine because of his low daily earnings. And he was also angered by the LTA officer's words. The LTA officer, he did his job by forbidding Mr. Goh to pick up his passenger from the taxi stand, but he scolded Mr. Goh in a very rude way based on Mr. Goh's point of view. And based on Miss Amber, the female passenger, he actually started to throw punch and kick him when recording Mr. Goh's video halfway. So he was then suspended from his duties, and his service was terminated upon the completion of the police investigation. So now I'll pass to Sean, who will be discussing on how the situation was managed and the recommendation to prevent such similar events to happen again. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon guys, I'm Sean and I'll bring us through the conflict response mode of the event. So before I start, I would like to emphasize that our evaluation is based on the account of the passenger. It may not be a fair account. So as mentioned by Zhifeng previously, the officer was seen shouting at the Uber driver. This may be due to that he was aware that the Uber driver has violated the regulation, and thus he had the upper hand. By shouting at the driver, it seems like he's using the competing response mode. As for the Uber driver, he was aware that he could not do pickup at the taxi stand. Yet he tried to push the blame to the passenger, saying that the passenger insisted pickup at the taxi stand. So he was arguing with the LTA officer. From the act of talking back to the LTA officer, he was using the competing response mode as well. Just like what we have learned in the lecture, inappropriate usage of competing response mode may lead to negative consequences, which in this case, violence. So we have come up with some recommendations for the different parties. For the LTL officer, we propose competing and accommodating. Only taxis are permitted to use the taxi stands. So as a traffic offense enforcer, it is his job to enforce the rules and regulations. Thus, I think that using competing response mode is justified. There is nothing wrong with issuing warnings or tickets to the Uber driver. However, there is no need to shout or engage in violence act. The officer may also choose to accommodate. As mentioned, the passenger was already at the taxi stand. Thus, the pickup won't necessarily cause any inconvenience to other road users. However, he may be viewed as the weaker party if he chooses to accommodate, and that may be the reason why he didn't choose to accommodate in the first place. As for the Uber driver, we propose avoiding or accommodating. I mean, he was aware that he was at fault. He should just obey the warning and drive over or change another pickup location. There is no need to challenge the authority. Although different conflict response may manage the conflict well, but another effective way that we think is to educate third-party application users of the ever-changing regulations to prevent such conflicts from arising again. So I have come to the end of my part, and my group mate Chen Bang will relate the lesson learned to our real-life work application. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Now I will try to talk about how we can relate the lessons we learned from this case study to apply them in the workplace. As you all know, all type of work involves conflicts. People always have different views and opinions to how things should be done in work. However, the conflicts happen at the workplace are not nearly as important as how we resolve them. The question is, how do we look for the win-win solutions, and it all comes down to the conflict response mode that we are taking. We all know that competition is unavoidable in a highly competitive environment such like the workplace. We should take note that the kind of competition we need in the workplace is a healthy competition, which meaning without intimidating others. Therefore, when we have some conflict of idea with our colleagues, we should try avoid directing personal criticisms to the person we are arguing with, but instead we try to persuade them with valid arguments. Besides, we should also try avoid being overly competitive, as it creates a lot of unhappiness and barrier between ourselves and those who work with us. No matter in life or workplace, compromise and accommodating are very important communication qualities that improve your relationship with others. Whenever we deal with disputes in workplace, we should try to express a desire for harmony and not being aggressive to the other parties involved. You might think that compromise means that we are giving up our stance, but the result of compromising is that nobody lives unhappy in a conflict. There's one word that I usually like to use when I do not want to continue to argue with someone, and I believe most of you here have used it before, which is whatever. I think this is a strong word to express your desire and willingness to end a conflict. Now, let me summarize our conflict management case study, which is the misunderstanding between the LTA officer and the Uber driver. I believe that the incident could be avoided if both the parties choose a more accommodating response to deal with each other. As shown in the video just now, the Uber driver might have seemed to attempt to challenge the LTA officer by having a aggressive physical confrontation. But the way officer handled the conflict by beating the driver up is not mature and irrational. Concluding what we have learned from the case study, we should be more compromised and accommodating in our workplace so that our relationship with our colleagues will be improved. Lastly, I would like to share a proverb with you guys. It's better bend than break. Thank you for listening. Any questions? Yeah.
For the statement, whatever, is it if the the Uber driver were to use the word in that situation, what do you think will happen?
might sound a bit how to say,
It might sound a bit rude
it might
to
sound a
the
bit rude, yeah.
LTA officer, but if he could have replied like whatever and drive away, this situation wouldn't happen.
Yeah. At least the LTA officer will not beat him up like that. Yeah. Because his response was trying to have a physical confrontation. You see in the video. Yeah.
So the Uber driver actually shouted at the LTA officer because the LTA officer shouted at us.
According to the account, yes.
Or it was according to the account, but actually in the video that's not established, right? Because the video already showed the altercation and you were already having a scuffle, right?
Yeah. Because they didn't choose to like interview the LTA officer, so it's only like kind of one-sided.
But the passenger called, she hailed for a Uber cab, and but the Uber cab is not considered a cab.
Look, it's a private car
This
thing.
is private, yeah. So they're not supposed to stop at the taxi stand. Okay, but she was waiting at the taxi stand.
Yes.
It's a bit tricky, right? So she's waiting at the taxi stand, and how does he pick her up?
I think there's an option for the driver to call back to the passenger, change location or something.
But that could be quite troublesome. Because you would have to call while he's driving to tell her that he's going to pick her up elsewhere.
For the Uber driver, usually they could like stop somewhere else and then call back the passenger. He need not call and drive at the same time. So he could have like find a better location nearby and then call her back.
But I suppose is he the one who picks up the phone directly to get passenger, or is there like a middle person? I don't know how it works.
There's an app
Or
where
it's
you
an app.
send your location.
Oh, okay, so he will get the information on his phone himself. Oh, so there's no way.
But usually you call to confirm the
I see. I suppose the regulation is not so clear cut that they're not supposed to pick passengers up at the taxi stand. And that's why the passenger did not even realize that she couldn't wait for him at the taxi. So what happened to the taxi driver in the end?
So it's like a few hours after the video was uploaded. So there's a Facebook post by LTA saying that the officer will be terminated from his job and stuff.
But what about the taxi driver? I think
Oh, taxi driver. Sorry.
So after the event, right, actually the Uber driver drove the passenger to her location and then he went to the hospital for checkup.
also he was somewhat bruised, or some was injured.
Based on this whole situation, LTA fired the officer, right? Terminated his job. Do you think there's something else they could have done better? Rather than just terminating, but in the future there may be many other LTA officers doing this. Are they implementing anything in place to overcome this?
I think that because they have to keep the image of the authorities, so even though we do not know what exactly has happened in the incident, might be the Uber driver that tried to taunt the LTA officer first. Yeah, but due to the public pressure, you want to keep your image of the authority, so you must fire that person that you wrong.
Is there any suggestion what LTA internally have to do to improve this?
Because the LTA officer, right, was hired by LTA but it's under another company. So maybe like some of our recommendation is that next time when they hire this kind of like LTA officer, right, they have to brief them clearly like what is the rules and regulation, like really like no cabs are allowed, as in no vehicles out other than taxis are allowed at the taxi stand, and some of the maybe similar situation, like they can brief them on this kind of situation so that they will be more prepared in future.
But what is the job of an LPA officer? They're not exactly policemen, right? So what do they do? What kind of authority do they have apart from giving summons? I'm sure that's one of their jobs, right? Give summons to people who park at the wrong place and that kind of thing. But they're not traffic police as well. They're not traffic police. I don't think they can manage or control traffic. Have you ever seen LPA officers do that?
I think it's actually under different jurisdiction. Like some of them, like those that can summon people, is like different. Like those that go around checking cars, like all like under LTAs, they have different like
Rules.
roles.
Well, but summon is just summon. It's such a specific.
No, because there was one incident last time, like they actually like someone actually stopped the police and asked them to settle some road dispute, but then the police said it's not under their jurisdiction. Yeah, jurisdiction.
Like LPA officer.
So that one, I think at that point of time it was under LTA or the traffic police, but they stopped the normal police car. So I think that was within, that should have been within the LTA's role
So this,
to handle.
I'm just wondering, so what's the job scope of an LPA officer? Because settling dispute, it's a dispute, shouldn't you call the police? If it's a dispute.
The dispute part will probably be under police, but the thing is, the fact that a private car drove into the taxi stand is probably
Under LTA.
under LTA.
Yeah, of course, that's under LPA, so, but my question would be, what exactly is the job of an LPA officer? So does an is LPA officer so powerful that he can, actually just shout at the taxi driver to leave the taxi stand, I mean, the driver to leave the taxi, is that kind of authority? I'm just thinking about it, I'm not experienced, but I see the question. I suppose a lot to do as well. I suppose you don't really need any kind of training, right, to become an LPA officer, because it's found out, right, LPA is not the one who actually hires them, another person who hires them.
It's probably at Cisco or something.
Yeah, they're just like Cisco, right?
Yeah.
The security